Racing in our normal time slot on Friday in the Eastern Cape, 8 races to look forward to, and we will be running on the turf surface. The highlight will be the listed feature, the East Cape Breeders' Stakes, which will be 4 fillies and mares. They'll be racing over 1,200 metres. Getting us underway in race 1, it's a maiden juvenile plate over 1,400 metres, and I'll start off with the selections of 6, 1 and 2. So I am leading with the Cape Raider in the way of the Snaith trained Futura gelding, which is Windsock. And last time out, he ran a decent 5th behind Ovation. That day, coming off a break for the gelding, he would have needed that run. Both the gelding and that run in fitness would have brought him on, and I do think he's going to make a good play for the win. Locally, number 1, Arctic Advance, is definitely coming along the right way. In both of his last 2 starts, he's run 2nd, competitive lengths behind, and I do think he'll be challenging as well. A horse that showed good improvement last time out is number 2, Cashing In. The yard expected improvement, and they got it in leaps and bounds as he went down in 2nd, beaten only a 1/4 of a length by Global Design. They do expect him to be knocking, so don't leave him out. Race 2 is a maiden juvenile plate, this time for the fillies over 1,400 metres. 12, 8 and 11 are my numbers here. So I lead with the likes of Twice to Heaven. Her form really tells the story. She's run 3 races so far. She's been in the placings in all, and in her latest 2 starts, she's actually taken on winners in juvenile plate company. So back to maidens only here, running off a good 2nd behind a fair sort in the way of sound check last time out. I do think that it's her turn to find the winner's box. Expecting a good run from number 8, Flower Seller, who races off a similar form line. She finished 3rd behind Soundcheck last time out in the same race where Twice to Heaven finished 2nd. She is quite well held by Twice to Heaven on paper, but as we know with these youngsters, they all improve at different rates, and dramatic improvement is not out of the question. So do make Flower Seller a consideration here. As far as that 3rd spot is concerned, I like the looks of the first timer, number 11, Sail Away With Me. The yard do caution that she might just be green, but they expect her to be doing her best work late and do think she can run a good race, so I have included her. Race 3 is a maiden plate for fillies and mares over the 1,400 metre trip once again. 3, 1 and 9 are my first 3 numbers. Respectable Miss makes her local debut. It is going to be sharp for her, but again and again Cape form stands up and hers is really useful. So I do think that she's going to be the horse they have to beat. And she has shown pace in her races of recent over further, which could stand her in good stead as she cuts back to 1,400 here. Drawn well in gate 3, I do think that she's got strong winning claims. It is a competitive field, and there are a few with some form that can take her on, and definitely one of them is number 1, Lucy Bell. She debuted last time out in the Eastern Cape, finished up in 3rd behind Princess Sina, racing with useful Highveld maiden form. The yard thinks she just needed it. They do feel she's come on, and the work she's showing suggests she's going to have a good shout, so really respect her. Number 9 is Manera, and she makes her local debut, racing off Highveld form. It hasn't been outstanding, but she did put in an improved effort last time out, went 4th behind Ricardo, and the yard do point out that she's showing the type of work that definitely makes her a trifecta and quartet inclusion. As we move on to race 4, so the day opens up. It is a very, very tricky card. Race 4 is a maiden plate over the mile trip. 4, 5 and 6 will be the first 3 selections for me. Chicago West, my first choice. I really battled to separate him from Brave Star. Eventually went for the fact that he's drawn in pole position. And last time out, 3rd behind Prince Alfred, put in an improved effort after a disappointing penultimate. When you consider the run before that saw him finish a great 2nd to Homer Fidget over today's course and distance. I think if everything comes together for him here, he has got a good shot at ending up past the line first. In saying that, number 5, Brave Star, has been nothing but honest in his recent runs, and he is just pounding at the door to leave the maiden ranks. If he gets it right here, it will be well deserved. Again, last time out, doing his best work late. He's been racing over trips that are short of his best. He is going to love being up to the mile this afternoon, and he is going to be a very worthy challenger. He races out of the Jacques Stradum yard, and another Stradum inmate that catches the eye is number 6, King of the Moment. Definitely right off that last run. He needed it. somewhat after the gelding. And if you look at that prior form where he had run second to take the world, third to full score, and fourth to Vision of Fame, those runs point out that he has definitely got the ability. So he would have come on from that last run, expect a fitter horse and expect a much more competitive horse. I do think he should be in the action. Race 5, fillies and mares 70 handicap, staying over the mile trip. 7, 4 and 13 is how I will be going. I think this is a super open field, and I'm looking for some value with the likes of With Our Blessing. I'm saying looking for some value, but she definitely has the form to enjoy as well. She's been putting in some great finishes, and a run that particularly catches the eye is her last run over Track and Trip, which is also in similar company, fillies and mares 74, and she did her best work late to round up third behind Alaskan Fate, going down by a length. A repeat of that is going to see her very effective, and arguably she is at her best over course and distance. Drawn in pole position never hurts either. Horse number 4, In Limbo. Her post-maiden Highveld form that she relocates with is not outstanding, but the very well-bred daughter of Silvano out of Halfway to Heaven, that's definitely something to take note of. She's certainly capable of better. The yard say she's showing fair work and they are expecting good improvement. So number 4, In Limbo, definitely consider her. Number 13 is my pick for third, and that is the likes of the Cliffy Miller runner, Miss Caruso. I thought a lot of the way she finished last time out when having her first run on the Eastern Cape grass. In fact, it was over course and distance, over the mile, and she really found a good finish. I do think she can get into the thick of things. It is a very open field though. Likewise, could describe race 6, which is a merit rated 70 handicap again over the mile. Here 2, 5 and 6 is how I go, leading with Zigzag. And if you look at his form, well, you can see exactly why I'm leading with him. He really ran on very strongly on local debut, and even though he didn't feature, he made up an incredible amount of ground, followed up in his next with a good third behind the useful Atkinson Grimshaw, and then notched up his second career win. Last time out, straight off the back of that second win, he held his form up in the points quite significantly and ran a good second to Pacific Duke. He's holding his own, he's drawn well, he enjoys the trip. All he really has to answer is that he can repeat that run now on the PE turf for the first time. Horses that can make him run, definitely the likes of number 5, Homer Fidget, and number 6, Fresh from the US. Homer Fidget, his form as well, post-maiden form, 3 runs out of the maidens placed in all. He is trying hard and he loves the mile. Number 6, Fresh from the US, really found good support in the betting last time out. He was back right in, but unfortunately things didn't go his way. He found himself out in front, which is not his normal racing tactics, and he over-raced. It cost him, and he finished second. I think with a bit more luck here, and if he settles, we're going to see another side of this fellow, and he can be very competitive. Our feature of the afternoon is race 7, which is the East Cape Breeders' Stakes. It's a listed event, and it's for the fillies and mares sprinting over the 1200 meter trip. 1, 9 and 2 means that I lead with World Radar, and the well-weighted daughter of Soft Falling Rain is most definitely course and distance suited, having run here 6 times for the 4 wins. She has both listed titles and a grade 3 title behind her name. She is the class act in the lineup, and if she is at her best, she will definitely be a horse that that the others will have to beat. Last time out, she registered her 7th career win from 10 starts when beating Aqua Delta, and everything suggests that she'll be right there again. I've got a lot of respect for a horse like number 9, and that is Joyful Noise, the up-and-coming 3-year-old daughter of Vercingetorix. She ran 4th last time out behind Iris in the Milkwood Stakes, and considering the weights that day, I think she did a phenomenal job. The horses that finished ahead of her that day in all of the 1st, 2nd and 3rd placings carried between 52 and 53.5 kilos, which meant she was giving them between 6.5 and 8 kilos. She did a sterling job. She has won over course and distance. In general, she's in super form, and I definitely think she merits respect. Another horse that won well last time out was number 2, Karaoke, when beating Snow Report. Granted, it was over 1400, but this filly has proven that she can be effective from between 1000 to 1400. She very rarely runs a bad race, and of late she really has lifted her game. I do think we'll see more of her here. Last of the day is race 8, as usual, wide open. It's a fillies and mares 64, and we finish up again over that 1200 sprinting trip. 9, 10, and 6 are my numbers here. I lead with Vizzo's Magic, and wouldn't that be a great start for the satellite yard of Com Naidu as they step out their first runners today, and if Vizzo's Magic could find the winner's box here. The Willow Magic filly relocates from Natal with useful form, and everything about that form does suggest that if she doesn't need this run for acclimatization, she has a shot at victory for sure. She'll have to beat the likes of number 10, Cucosis. I know she's not right up there with the betting, but I really like the way that the Coup de Grace filly has been finishing of recent. She's put in some sterling late runs, and I do think she can get involved here. The horse number 6 is where I go for my third pick, and that is Afternoon Tea. She's a Pathfork filly. She'll be making her local debut and relocates from the Highveld. She has fallen from a merit rating of 97 to a merit rating of 65 here. She had a very useful juvenile career, but just hasn't been able to go on with it with that huge merit rating. It's fallen significantly, and I think we can expect her to be really trying hard and looking for improvement here. The exotics kick off, as far as the PA is concerned, in race 2, and here I start immediately with the banker, and that will be Twice to Heaven. It is a very open card. She is actually one of the horses that stand out for me, and I think that Twice to Heaven should find victory, and definitely as far as the PA is concerned, would be very disappointing if she didn't hit the first 3. Race 3, I go a little bit wider in the PA with all of 1, 3, and 9, which are my first selections in the race. Lucy Bell, Respectable Miss, and Manera. On to race 4, another 3 selections, and again my first 3 horses in the way of number 4, Chicago West, 5, Brave Star, and 6, King of the Moment. The vein of the PA continues with another 3 selections in race 5, 4, 7, and 13. Again, horses in my first 3 selections being in limbo. And then onwards to number 7, With Our Blessing, and number 13, Miss Caruso. I do think it's an open day, and again the PA will get the 3 selections in race 6, which is leg 5, and those are numbers 2, 5, and 6, Zigzag, Homer Fidget, and Fresh from the US. As far as the penultimate leg of the PA is concerned, I'm going to bank a number 1, World Radar. I do think she takes on some significant opposition, and she is going to have to lift her feet, as gifted as she is, but again, she would be very disappointing if she didn't find those first 3 placings, so I do think she's safe to bank her in the PA. Rounding up, and once again, go wide, and last leg will have all of 6, 9, and 10, and that is Afternoon Tea, Vizzo's Magic, and Cucosis. We come back to race 3 to kick off the pick 6, and here I definitely like to stress that my pick 6 is a skeleton. I think it is a particularly hard day, and if there's anything else that catches your fancy, I've tried to keep it as affordable as possible so that you can add in a few extras. Now, as far as the PA is concerned, I threw in a couple of horses hoping to perhaps double or treble up in the way of 1, 3, and 9, Lucy Bell, Respectable Miss, and the likes of Manera, but I'm actually going to bank in the pick 6. I'm going to take a chance on Cape Form, which time and time again stands up in the Eastern Cape. It's a very tricky card. I'm battling to find a banker anywhere else, and I will lead here with number 3, Respectable Miss. So, banker in the first leg of the pick 6. Carrying on from there, the second leg, which is race 4, PA numbers 4, 5, and 6. To the pick 6, I will add in number 3, Jaspero, who is holding a steady vein of form and would by no means be a surprise winner. On to race 5, the PA numbers 4, 7, and 13. Pick 6 will get bolstered with number 1, Frosty Rain. Disregard her last. The yard did say that she lashed out in the pens. She unfortunately injured herself and she returned not striding out. That run does not by any means a representation of her, and better to disregard. Looking at her steady prior form, I have to agree. Number 2, Alaskan Fate, self-explanatory. She's looking for a hat trick. She's coping with the fact that she's moving up in the merit ratings. She'll need a bit of luck from the wide draw, but certainly has got a chance at finishing up a treble. Race 6, the PA numbers 2, 5, and 6 are the PA numbers, and for the pick 6, I will stick with them. So Zigzag, Homer Fidget, and Fresh from the US, 3 horses for the pick 6. Race 7, I banked World Radar in the PA. I do think she's going to have to lift her feet. There are horses here that can beat her. I think she has to keep an eye on her stable companion, number 2, Karaoke, and most definitely on the likes of number 9, Joyful Noise, who this time round tops the best weighted column. As far as race 8 is concerned, again, always a stellar field of confusion to end us off in PE, and 6, 9, and 10 are my PA numbers, added to which for the pick 6 I will throw in 2, Paris Opera. I do think she's been trying a little bit further of recent, but she does look most at home over the sprinting trip, so we can look for more from her. Number 3, Rooibos, is looking for a hat-trick and is most certainly a runner. And then I also include the likes of number 13, At Your Request, who I do believe is a lot better than that last run suggests. First leg of the jackpot is in race 4, which will jump at 10 past 2. And here it mirrors the exact same numbers as the pick 6, and 3, 4, 5, and 6 will be the jackpot numbers: Jazz Bureau, Chicago West, Brave Star, and King of the Moment. Likewise, for the second leg of the jackpot, same numbers as the pick 6, 1, 2, 4, 7, and 13. The last 2 legs of the jackpot I do cover and go a little bit wider, and the PA and pick 6 get the numbers of 2, 5, and 6. The jackpot will get the additions of the stable couplings number 1, Mio Grande, and number 9, All in Line, from the Graveyard, horses that I do think can get a look in. The main race of the day, which will be the last leg of the jackpot, also a little bit different, and the pick 6 numbers here of World Radar number 1, Karaoke number 2, and Joyful Noise number 9 will get the additions of number 4, Spring Bake, and number 11, the Cape Raider Trickster. So I do bolster with those. As far as the best bet and the value bet is concerned, I am going for the best bet in race 2, number 12, Twice to Heaven, the youngster from the Sharon Kotzen yard. Her form is really solid, it's hard knocking, and she is due a win. I do think she stands out. As far as value is concerned, race 5, number 7, With Our Blessing, could find the winner's box in what looks to be a very open lineup. So again, just a caution, it is a tricky card. My exotics are skeletons, and if you have another horse that catches your fancy, feel free to add it in. Have a great day's racing.